In addition to the built-in data types, Shplait lets you define your own. So here's the definition for a shape data type, and it has two variants, circle and rectangle. You can think of shape as an interface, and circle and rectangle as two classes that implement that interface. The function area processes shapes, so it does a match to see what kind of input it's dealing with. If it's a circle, then we compute the area this way, and if it's a rectangle, we compute the area that way. You'll notice that pi is 3 for us in Shplait. That's because the only numbers are integer numbers in Shplait. There are no floating point numbers. Another good thing about Shplait is we have built-in testing. So we can write a check here, and then an expression afterwards, and see if that expression matches the result that we expect. Let's hop over to Dr. Racket. So we've got the same code that we just saw on the slide. We have our 2 checks. Let's run the program. Okay, and both our tests passed. If we change the result of the second check and then run again, our test will fail. Yes, and Dr. Racket highlights the check that failed, so we know what we need to go back and fix. Moving on, here's a larger example that we'll look at quickly. So this is the interpreter for lambda expressions. Just want to scroll through this quickly to show you the size of the program. So it's about 200 lines. We'll get to this in a few weeks, but generally the interpreters that we'll be building will be about this size, 200 lines or so, and we'll use those to study new concepts like lambdas, applications, let bindings. Now, throughout the course, we're going to be dealing with 2 layers of code. So first, here's a chunk of a Shplait program, and this happens to be from the Lambda interpreter. And the other layer of code we're dealing with is Mo, which is the input code that Shplait is going to interpret, or our Shplait interpreters will be interpreting. So this is the surface syntax for a Mo program, 3 times 4 plus 8, but we normally won't write Mo programs like this. We'll normally be using Mo programs as Shplait values, using that code, or that syntax data type. It's important to know that we've got these 2 layers ahead. It may be a little awkward to get used to having multiple layers, but this is also an important PL concept to know